Hey guys, Hermit here. Welcome to my vlog with the X-T4. I'm testing this out in a local park reserve. It's called the Nura Jingi Reserve, and it's a pretty nice little location close to home. So I thought I'll bring my camera out here, and well, not my camera, this X-T4, which I have borrowed or has been loaned to test out its capabilities. So the flip out screen is really helpful. I can see the composition. But I guess with the X-T3 I had gotten used to it. The main thing to test is the IBIS and how well it handholds and stabilizes the footage, because I can see my reflection in the ND filter and my hand is quite shaky. It's not as stable as it should be, just me. But let's see how the camera does in keeping that stable. So I'm just walking around here. There's a lot of cockatoos on this side. It's a nice overcast day, so the lighting is nice and soft. Hopefully I've got my ND filter dialed just right to get some clean and not overblown footage. Let's keep walking and show you around the reserve. Sorry, my zoom is at 14mm, so let's go back to 10mm. Now that's pretty wide, but I guess it's useful in some cases. But generally I keep it at 14, even for my videos at home, because it gives you a nice balance, not too much off the head, a bit of background as well. So yeah, let me show you. Wow, this plane is making a huge racket. Let me just show you what I see here behind me. I think this is the Chinese garden. Swap over hands. You can see how nice this reserve is. And I came here yesterday to take some pictures as well and test some of the different settings on the X-T4. So today I came back just to actually do the shooting. So if you're contemplating buying an X-T4 versus an X-T3, what are the key differences? There's not a whole lot. The sensor is the same. The body is slightly bigger, but it feels just about the same in your hand. I think the hand grip, where you grip the camera, is a little bit more chunkier because of the new battery. So the new battery gives you more life in terms of video and shooting capabilities. The key feature is obviously the IBIS, the image stabilization that's built into the camera. So that means that you can hold and shoot a lot more steady shots, as opposed to getting some shaky shots when the shutter is quite low. I did another video on the low light testing of the IBIS to see how well it performs, but also the IBIS is useful for shooting videos. As you can see here, my headshot should be quite stable, and I'm hand holding this X-T4 at the moment. So this has a flip out screen as well, which lets you shoot, obviously knowing what framing you've got, if you're in focus or not, and of course if the camera is shooting or not. Obviously in the X-T3 there was the video light which lit up to tell you that it's still shooting, which was quite useful. It's available here on this camera as well, but having the screen, being able to see very quickly and know that, well, it's still shooting, that's really useful. As I mentioned, the battery is definitely bigger. What else? I guess there's not a whole lot, I guess, in this camera. I mean, they've added a few film simulations in there, Eternal bleach bypass, classic negative, as they do, you know. They add those simulations from one camera to another, some new ones, to entice you to buy that camera. Would you buy it? I'm not sure. Would I buy it? I'm not sure. At this current price rate, this is about $3,000 here in Australia, this camera. That's a lot, whereas the X-T3 is now going for about $1,700 to $1,800. So that's a big difference between the two cameras. So in this case, I don't know if I'll buy it. Time will tell. Maybe there will be some exciting new sales which will allow me to pick up this new X-T4. But for the moment, I think I'm used to not having the flip out screen. However, the IBIS might be a reason why I upgrade, IBIS alone. So let's just walk around, do some more tests, see how well this camera does. So I'm just walking up the hill here. Oh, knocked the camera there. Swapping over hands. You can see the view is pretty nice here. And yeah, autumn colors are in full swing. It's beautiful. Some of the other things added to the camera are obviously new features on the video side. It can do 240 frames per second. Yeah, but I found that 240 frames per second is too slow, and the image quality, I don't know what happens to it, but it's very soft. 120 frames is fast enough, actually. I'm pretty happy with the 120 FPS on the X-T4, so I'm not really too excited by the 240 capability of this camera. One of the other features of the X-T4 is that it has now got a dedicated switch. This dedicated switch means that when you want to switch to movies, you just flick it to the movie mode, and when you want to shoot stills, you switch it to the stills mode. The advantage of that is that in each of these modes, it's got its own menu system. This menu system lets you basically configure and set up your shooting settings for each types of modes. That's quite unique. That's not something that's available in the X-T3, and I'm not sure if they will introduce it. But using the X-T3 alone for video and stills, yeah, it is tricky. A lot of the times I forget the right settings, and I'm shooting, sometimes I have to reshoot because I shot it in the wrong settings. So having those unique menu systems and unique settings is definitely an advantage when it comes to shooting both stills and video. And if you're one of the people that you want to shoot stills and video, then definitely an advantage for you to have that in the X-T4 as opposed to X-T3. But is it enough to pay the extra price at the premium? That's up to you, I guess. Everyone has to check their own pocket before they invest in a new camera. Okay, so before I wrap things up, I want to take a few still shots. So now I've switched over to the X-T3. All this is being filmed on the X-T3 with the 10-24 lens, which was on this camera before. So I have no idea of the composition, but as I'm used to it, I've got rough approximation of where I need to compose. So hopefully you can see me and it's not too shaky. What I'm going to do is with the 23mm lens, and I've got an 80mm in my bag as well. I might swap around those two lenses, and I'm just going to go around, take some pictures, and test the images on the X-T4. What do I expect to see? Nothing much different, but the cool thing would be, because I shoot in RAW, I can apply the various film simulations to it. So I can do that in JPEG as well as in RAW, and yeah, we can check them out in the computer later on. I'll put them in the video as samples, and some you can download via the link in the video. So let's get going and take some still shots.